Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hi everyone, I would just like to take a brief moment to say thank you guys so much for making Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires your favorite movie. Because you guys made this not only your favorite movie, but your favorite soundtrack. It has been nominated at the 2026 iHeart Radio Music Awards, I think I got that right, for favorite soundtrack. And this has everything to do with each and every one of you. I would just like to take a moment to say thank you so much for loving Zombies as much as what you have, loving the cast, and being there, being so incredibly supportive for your favorite stars and all these moments that have brought you to the moment where you realized emphatically that you were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Thank you so much. And a lot of YouTube creators will not go out of their way to say that to each and every one of you because I feel as if people who are recording videos about Descendants of Zombies never take a moment to really appreciate who and what you guys are and how you've represented zombies over this last 7 years. Unquestionably, Zed and Addison held a very special place in each and every one of our hearts as the leads of the Zombies franchise. But I don't think in 2018, back in that era, nobody ever thought Zombies would go on to achieve so much recognition as what it did and become one of the most revered Disney Channel franchises of all time, eventually crossing over to Disney+. I see a lot of more opportunities for Descendants of Zombies being offered to this cast. I see so much of a chance and an opportunity for Freya Skye and Malachi Burton to make the most of. And I'm really excited to be a part of this future with each and every one of you. I have never felt more honored to be a part of this niche and to be a part of this project because when I became a part of this project, I had high expectations for Descendants of Zombies, perhaps more than any other YouTuber that you guys were watching on YouTube at the time, because I saw something special in the hearts of people like Freya, who believed in her character Nova Bright more than anybody else who had ever auditioned previously, or who may have ever believed in taking a chance on this character, because she was so full of life. And she showed so much heart and dedication to who and what she believed in, which was pretty much each and every one of you, because you guys are the most incredibly supportive fans of all time. And I say this with a heart and a half. Honestly, guys, thank you so much. Not only for making Descendants of Zombies your favorite Descendants of Zombies franchises of all time, but for having made this YouTube channel your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I will never forget any of you. 20 years from now, I hope to be having this conversation with a whole new generation of Disney fans and fans who will forever and always remain a part of this YouTube channel, because this has been a journey that you guys have had me on for what feels like forever, because I not only had the chance to talk about Descendants of Zombies, I had the honor of meeting so many wonderful fans of these franchises who felt ever more captivated by Freya Skye, who loved Malachi Burton so much. And not only is your favorite soundtrack from Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires having been nominated, but the actresses and the actors of the Zombies cast have been nominated for several awards as well. I think that every single time we see this, we should take the time to say thank you to each and every one of you, because thank you are words that are never used enough or are never said enough. And I think that when we say thank you to the Descendants of Zombies niche, we are saying not only thank you to a group of fans who have come together to create something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, even people who have yet to discover the power of Descendants of Zombies. We are saying thank you to something that only ever happens once in a lifetime, because we are really a part of something special. Unquestionably, we became a part of history, and we've been a part of history ever since. And I know, while I may never be able to speak for many YouTube creators out there, I will never forget the impact and the imprint, both of it, that Descendants of Zombies has had on my heart. What this franchise did for me, both of these niches, is something truly that I can never seem to put into words, because I can never seem to express enough gratitude and appreciation for you guys just being here, and most of all, being you. I've looked at this YouTube channel as a journal, and ever since perceiving it as a journal, I not only talk about Descendants of Zombies, I tell you what's happening around me on a day-to-day basis, because I feel as if YouTube is really a platform where you can really get to know your audience, and you can gain a greater appreciation through getting to know your audience, because having the chance to know your audience and understand them for who and what they love is an experience in its own right. Did you guys think that I would ever imagine that this YouTube channel would have gone on to become everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time? Most certainly I never. But I've been so appreciative of it, because I got to tell you crazy stories about how I moved into a residence near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that I'm living in fear of exploding at any given moment. I've told you stories about how I've lived isolated on this island for forever, which is actually really cool, and an experience and a chance that I think more YouTube creators should take their opportunity on really experiencing. because I really do believe that if you can really bring Descendants of Zombies to life in a way that is so emphatic and can leave an everlasting impression on each and every single person's heart who may have ever believed in these franchises, that is how you make an impact. I know a lot of YouTube creators are probably wondering, how do you leave an impact and an imprint on the Descendants of Zombies niches? How you do that is just by simply understanding your audience. And I know there are a lot of people who have tried, and I say attempted very lightly, to try to, relate to the Descendants of Zombies niche. But in order to do that, you've not only got to understand them, but you've got to understand who and what they love, and the reasons that come with respecting somebody like Freya Sky, who has come such a long way in such a short amount of time. The girl's only 16 years old. She's been nominated for so many awards, and just actually the other day, my friend from New York pulled up on his phone how Freya Sky had been nominated for several awards. And he thought it was so cool. He's never watched zombies before in his life. I'm trying to get him into it. But he mentioned to me how Freya Sky had been nominated for a lot of awards that were going unnoticed. And he wanted me to create a video, actually several videos, about how I thought about it. And I have nothing but nice things to say about Freya. In 500 videos that I would go on to upload, I've had nothing but nice things to say about her and her co-stars, because I've seen the chemistry, I've seen the appreciation, and I feel as if you guys have deserved way better reviews of people like Freya and Malachi for a very long time. And I just wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to be that guy that would come through for you every single time, sharing his very honest opinion about Descendants of Zombies. Because while we may still have a long way to go, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion if it's a good opinion, if it's an opinion worth sharing with the world. And if you have an opinion to share with the world about Descendants of Zombies, you should never be afraid to let anybody out there know how you feel about it. That's why I invested so much time and an incredible amount of effort in creating this YouTube channel, because along with talking about Descendants of Zombies, I wanted to create something special for everybody who ever saw something special in Freya Sky. I mean, she was a British actress. She always had a dream of being involved in both the music and entertainment industry, and she had the opportunity to be involved in both of it. And she had the support of her family and her friends. And I mean, what much more could you ask for? I think there are people who watch these videos every day on YouTube who have the same dream, who want the support and the love of their friends and their family to be a part of whatever they want to be a part of. And I think the more support and along with encouragement that we can offer to people, the more stars that we are going to create. I've had the chance to profile a lot of small-scale entertainment production companies that offer these editions for Disney and Nickelodeon. And I've seen some of the best of them come and go. I've seen some people turn down for offers. I've seen people accepted for offers over the years. And what it starts with is how a wish is made by your heart to begin a dream. And once a dream begins for you, you kind of got to follow your passion and follow through with your dream. Now, not everybody is accepted for their dream, and not everybody has a chance to really make the most of their dreams and these opportunities. Freya is a number of exceptionally wonderful people who have had the opportunity to do it, among those. And I think the more praise that we give people like Freya and Malachi, the better off they're going to be. And I'm just excited to be here and be a part of that with each and every one of you, because simply you guys have allowed it. You have allowed me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies. You've allowed me to express my appreciation on these franchises, to share in these significant moments where they were acknowledged for awards for favorite soundtrack or favorite movie, because I've seen the best of them come and go in the entertainment industry. Some of them have faded off into obscurity, never to be heard or seen from again. But I think that 20 years from now, we are going to be having the same conversation about giving people praise for what they deserve to be praised for. I think that if we can go out of our way as YouTubers to upload videos about Quality Control and Freya Sky while giving them praise and acknowledging their accomplishments, I think it's going to offer inspiration to a lot of people. Sorry, I'm suffering from a zombie infection. I think that the more that we can create something special for everybody out there, the more appreciation we're going to see from people who love Descendants of Zombies so much. Because on February 16th, 2018, our lives changed for the better. We took a chance on a franchise that I think a lot of people very quickly fell in love with because of the story, how passionate you felt about the characters, and how you really felt captivated in these moments. I think that moments like these are only ever meant to happen for a person every once in a lifetime. So because they're only ever meant to happen once for every lifetime, they should forever and always be cherished. And because they should forever and always be cherished, when it comes to us as YouTubers, we have to take that into consideration each and every single time that we upload a video about your favorite stars, and consider how they feel as everyday individuals. Because underneath the pressure They are just like each and every one of us, and they are faced with so much pressure each and every single time they watch a video on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. It never seems to be alleviated. And you guys can call me crazy all you want, but I've always just wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to contribute to alleviating the pressure off the shoulders and off the backs of people like Clarke and Freya Sky, who are faced with their fair share of criticism each and every single time they may have ever stepped out onto the Worlds Collide Tour stage for an individual concert performance or whatever project they were involved with. Because I remember when Freya Sky was so excited to be a part of Final Fantasy 16, and many of you are too young to remember that. The game came out in 2023, but I know that a lot of people are within different age demographics for Descendants of Zombies, so many of you are probably too young to remember Final Fantasy 16. I haven't even got it unpackaged yet, but I picked it up a couple of weeks ago. I was so honored to talk about Final Fantasy 16 earlier this morning because it was one of the projects that Freya was so proud to have been a part of. And I've been a fan of Final Fantasy for forever. You've often heard me quote Cloud on the show many times for how everybody has a light. And no matter how long it takes you to find that light, everybody eventually does find that light and their dreams are followed through with. And I've never ever wanted any of you to let go of that. And I think that having the honor to be involved with projects such as Final Fantasy really defines who Freya is all about and, you know, who Freya wants to be. And I think as YouTubers, we should encourage that. We should encourage the moments where she unboxes her zombie doll, where she's the voice of a character in Final Fantasy. Actually, I think she was several characters in Final Fantasy. I've always wanted to be a voice for a franchise like Final Fantasy or SpongeBob SquarePants or The Lion King or something along those lines. I've been very envious of Jonathan Taylor Thomas for the young voice of Simba in the 1994 version of The Lion King. And I think that I would love to have been a part of Descendants of Zombies because I think that there is such an appreciation that comes with understanding theater and bringing these characters to life. If there was one guy in the theater room every day after school who wanted to be a part of whatever project he had the honor of being a part of, it was this guy. And I saw something special forever and always in people like Clarke and Freya Sky. So when it came to recording a YouTube video, each and every single time that I would go on to push record, if I was going to say anything at all about your favorite stars, I was going to say something nice about them. And I was going to take bullets for them each and every single time, and I couldn't be more proud to have done it for the people who have inspired each and every one of us to be the fans of Descendants of Zombies that we are today and that we will continue to be moving forward, because we have so much to be excited about when it comes to Zombies 5 and Descendants 5, because we still have so many unanswered questions. Even with how so many questions will be answered by the time Descendants 5 Book 1 drops between now and July 2026, we are still going to be left in the dark and the mist with so many unanswered questions. But as the old analogy says time and time again, we're never afraid of the dark. We're just never afraid of what we can't see. So because we're afraid of what we can't see, that leaves us with a lot of uncertainty. And I think that if more people would shed more light and more spotlight on the issues with Descendants of Zombies that deserve to be issued, I think that, you know, more people would feel confident in the future that they can't see. So I've just wanted to create something special while offering you up encouragement that things like Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 is coming, because while critics will choose to say that Zombies 5 is never going to happen, Zombies 5 is not coming until 2028, what it comes down to is how much you believed in these franchises, how much of a chance you wanted to take on your favorite stars. Because me sitting here in this chair and talking about Descendants of Zombies is one way of looking at it. But for you to say that you're a fan of Descendants of Zombies and believe in it as much as what you have, that's what it comes down to. That's what's mattered, is how much you have believed in it, how much of a chance you've taken on it, how much more of a story you want to see explored for Victor and Nova. Because I'll be honest with each and every one of you, each and every time I record a video about Descendants of Zombies, I never know what I'm going to say. I just speak from my heart, from the perspective of a fan. And I think the most effective way of recording a video about your thoughts on Freya, or your thoughts on Meg Donnelly, who's in the thumbnail, or your thoughts on Colin Contrell or Malia Baker, each time you speak from the perspective of a fan, you touch the heart of whoever is watching your video. And that's all I've ever wanted to be a part of. That's all I've ever wanted to experience with each and every one of you. I never know what I'm going to say. I never prepare anything, nor do I ever think about what I'm going to say. I just share with you my thoughts on things like Final Fantasy that Freya Sky may have been a part of. I share my thoughts on The Masked Singer. I share my thoughts on Descendants of Zombies. And I record a video without ever editing anything and just throw it up on YouTube and hope that someone's going to hit my subscribe button. Because with me, what you see is what you get. I know there are a lot of people who make these Descendants and Zombies videos, and in terms of content, it's really lackluster. Their opinions really have never made sense to any fan of Descendants and Zombies because all they've ever wanted is to hear something nice about their favorite stars. And I think more people who go out of their way to actually say something nice about their favorite stars and encourage Kylie Control being a part of projects like The Masked Singer and Freya Sky being a part of Final Fantasy, however long or how significant the role was, I think there's a great deal of appreciation to take away from this kind of thing, and how passionate she was about music and being an actress, and how Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires was her first ever movie. Have you guys ever thought about how appreciative she was of Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires being her first ever movie? And I'm talking to critics. I would just like to take a moment to, speak from the perspective of a journalist who's done this for many years. I don't think anyone who has ever uploaded a video about Descendants of Zombies has ever taken into consideration how she feels about being in her first movie being Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires. Because if you took it into consideration, you would go out of your way, you would eliminate the criticism from every video that you've ever uploaded. And you would go out of your way to give her praise where she deserves to be given praise. And that's all I've ever been a part of. Forgive me if I've seen something special in Freya for forever, and I've chosen to support the Freya fandom, because the Freya fandom is truly incredible. They will love you for forever as long as you say something nice about their favorite star and who and what they believe in. And I think that, I shouldn't be the only one on YouTube that people depend on to see great videos about Descendants of Zombies from. I think there are more people out there who have a greater appreciation. And I say this to every fan of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you for supporting it, because I believe that you guys are some of the smartest people ever. When it comes to your opinions about Descendants of Zombies, you're never afraid to let people know how you feel. There's never a moment where you're never supportive of who and what you believe in, because you believe in characters like Noah Bright and Malachi Burton's character Victor so much. So because you believe in them so much, and you've been a part of every single moment of significance, from the unboxing of dolls to the premiere of music videos, because I was there last summer when I saw the Place TV music video premiere, and to be honest with each and every one of you, I didn't like the criticism. I didn't want anything to do with the criticism, because if I was going to say anything at all about the Place TV music videos such as Don't Mess With Us, I was going to say something nice. I'm not a Ryan Seacrest, I'm not a Howard Stern, but I've become one of the most revered names to ever talk about Descendants of Zombies, and certainly one of the most celebrated. And it has everything to do with how you guys have identified yourself as Descendants of Zombies fans as a part of this niche, and how I feel you have deserved far better criticism and far better reviews than you have ever seen in your life. And I just wanted to be that guy to do it for you, so that when moments happen, like the celebration of the soundtrack of Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires being honored at the 2026 iHeart Radio Music Awards happened, you guys would have a video uploaded that actually said something nice about a positive moment for every star who 20 years from now have the greatest chances of all time of actually going down in history for being some of the greatest of all time. I may never know if I'm going to go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time for having something to do with Descendants of Zombies. But I do know that if there's one thing that I'm going to do as the reviewer of Descendants of Zombies on YouTube, and certainly one of the most revered and most popular, is to ensure the legacies of your favorite stars, because everybody has a story and everybody has the right and deserves to have it told. And told from the perspective of somebody who actually appreciates Descendants of Zombies and believes in it just as much as each and every one of you. And that's why I'll forever be taking bullets up against these critics, because the reality of life is everybody's a critic on YouTube. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion. But I think that when it comes to recording a video about Descendants of Zombies, nobody has ever been able to get it done and come through like I have and we have together, because together we created something truly special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I got to be a part of that. I got to share in that with each and every one of you, so that when Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires premiered last summer, and it was nominated for countless awards like it is now, coming up in March in the 2026 iHeart Radio Music Awards, we will celebrate Zombie Swore Down on the Vampires once again, and there will be more awards handed out to various cast members who have contributed to this, which is something that should never ever be forgotten, nor ever gone on without being acknowledged. Thank you guys so much for being the fans that you are, and thank you so much for just being you. Because being you has gotten Zombies Swore Down on the Vampires in the position it is right now, receiving so much severity And it has everything to do with how much you've taken a chance on these stars and you believe in their stories. You watch their stories come to life and you've been a part of it from day one. Thank you guys so much for this incredible journey that you've had me on for forever, having made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I will never live long enough to appreciate each and every one of you, and I will have more to say on this later on tonight when I drop my final show for this evening. Thank you so much, seriously, guys, for just believing in this YouTube channel, having made it your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time, because quite honestly, I don't know where I'd be without any of you. And thank you so much for just being the fans of Descendants and Zombies that you've forever and always been, and believing in people like Freya Sky and Meg Donnelly who have gotten them to this moment. Now, of course, we have Mila Manheim going to be Eugene in Disney's live-action Tangled. There is a release date yet to be announced and confirmed for this one, but it's one of the biggest stories online, and I was just as excited to hear that yesterday because it's been less than 24 hours since this story was dropped. I think it's a little over 24 hours, actually, because I was one of the first guys to ever upload a video with my thoughts in it on people like Tegan Croft and Mila Manheim playing the characters Rapunzel and Eugene for the first time ever. It's going to be so cool seeing them brought to life for the first time ever on the big screen, and this is going to be one of the most celebrated live actions Disney has ever promoted, and I think that they really can't afford to make any mistakes with this one. But with that having been said, I will have a whole lot more to say on this tonight. If you have not subscribed, you're probably going to want to keep it locked here on this YouTube channel, because we have so many conversations up and coming to pop up here in the archives of this YouTube channel, and if you've ever been a fan of Descendants and Zombies, then you will find time in appreciating this YouTube channel, and you're really going to love this one so much. Thank you so much for being the fans of Descendants and Zombies you have forever and always been. Thank you so much for all the recognition you've thrown the way of Descendants and Zombies, because you guys are the reason all this is happening, and you should never ever forget it, because everybody has a story, everybody deserves to be a part of something special, and together we created something special for every fan of Descendants and Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched this video.